How you doing?
Congratulations. Kyle said they were trying to get something done in the off season. Did it get done now because their asking price or your asking price got higher, or they agreed?
We was all. I mean, I knew this where I wanted to be, so we was always in negotiations like after the Super Bowl. So I mean, I was. Hopefully, we could have got something done earlier, but I'm happy we got something done. And I'm here and I remain here for the rest of my career. So I just like to thank the Yorks, this whole organization, Kyle, John, my coaches, my teammates, for pushing me every day. Just being able to play with, all these great guys. I had no other option but to try and be great. So I just tip my hat off to my team.
Why did you want to test unrestricted free agency? Like, why were you so motivated to stay?
I've been a West Coast guy my whole life. The camaraderie within the team, all the players, my brothers, my family. My family is from this side. So I knew it was a place that I could see myself, long term.
Do you have to get the phone call that the deal is done? Do you take time to kind of reflect on your journey to get to that point, and what were kind of the emotions of that?
I was happy. When I heard my agent tell me the deal was finally done, I was, I burst out into tears. It was, that I finally, able to change my family's life, for generations, so it's just a blessing.
You look back at your draft day when it was the 5th round and you were upset that you were gone.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually was just telling Tig and Malik about it this morning. Just being drafted, in the 5th round. Going 4 rounds going by and not hearing your name. I was just seeing Bleacher Report articles and stuff. With my name on it, saying I was gonna be selected in the 3rd round. So I was happy for day 2. So when that didn't happen, day 3, it started to get a little scary for me. I thought I was going to be able to hold my composure, but, I gave up, honestly, and then there was a 408 number calling. I didn't know which team it was because I thought the 49ers were in San Francisco, but I didn't. So when I answered the phone, it was John, and I immediately just started screaming, yes, like it finally happened. And after that, it was just all up to me, to just put everything into the plan.
Kyle was recounting the time when you got him fined. What do you remember about that?
I remember it was posted by accident. So when I posted it, I just seen my phone kept going off, and I was like, I didn't post nothing on Instagram. So then when I looked back, it was everywhere. Then I seen the Sports Center, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad. I might be." Yeah, I was. I was like, I might be cut. So I was nervous. I remember Coach CU, Corey Underland. I remember him calling me, and he was like, "Why did you post that?" And I was like, "I didn't try to." And he was like, "Oh man." And then 5 minutes later, he called me back. He was like, "You good? You good?" It was a good post. But. Yeah, now I can finally pay Kyle back, for Carter's tuition.
Kyle mentioned that after your rookie year, your confidence was a little bit down, and now that you're one of the more confident people, if not the most confident person on the team, when did that really change for you?
That really took place when I had my son. At that time, the season had just ended. He was about 6 months. I had moved to Arizona, and I felt like that was like my growth stage. I stayed in that whole off season. I stayed my head down, working, really just putting myself in situations, watching film, like, with our defense, making different calls and checks and seeing, like how teams attack certain coverages and stuff. And I felt like that would elevate my game.
Congrats on the new deal. Nobody does it alone. Who were some guys along the way? I know you worked at the Mamba Institute. Who are some guys that kind of helped you get to this point?
I would say my family and friends, just pushing me to be great. Always, it was kind of like never like the people I had around me, they were never like, I would say, haters, or were like, they always told me that, you know, they look for them, for me to be great, you know, to push me to get to new heights. And they always was telling me like, oh, you can't do this, like, just as a way of a challenge, because I'm the person, like, I like to be challenged. I'm like a competitive person. So when they would tell me stuff like that, I would like to try to prove them wrong. So I would say they actually, you know, molded me to the player I am right now.
At the time that you were drafted, we learned that you had a connection with Richard Sherman, both being from LA. How big of an influence has he been? And I just realized also when you were talking about the 5th round, he also dropped to the 5th round. Is that something that you've talked to Richard about?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, he paved the way, you know, for guys like me in my area. You know, he was like one of the first to do it. So to see him get a big contract, it was like motivation to me, to let me know that I can do the same. And, you know, I appreciate him also, you know, for just being that big brother and, you know, calling me, you know, when times weren't good, and just getting me through it, and just telling me to be that dog.
You said you weren't in a rush to get a deal done. You were more focused on kind of solidifying yourself as a top corner in this league. Do you feel like this deal solidifies that everybody else now agrees with kind of how you viewed yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. I wanted to, you know, prove to you guys, you know, I was always the person, you know, I would be confident and then speaking aloud and saying stuff like I'm the best, but I wanted to prove to you guys first, you know, and prove to the world, you know, who I am.
Do you feel this deal puts a target on your back, or do you feel like it's already been?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm happy if it did put a target on my back, because, you know, I'm ready for anything.
Ward have on you? Have you talked to him at all?
Oh yeah, I talked to Mooney. You know, I talked to him last night. He was excited for me. You know, I was just telling him, can't wait to have him back. You know, so we can get this thing on the road and get a bowl. You know, but he was in good spirits, and you know, he was happy for me. You know, we talked about this all the time. He used to always tell me, I can't wait till you get paid. You know, change your life.
All right, thanks, Mo.
Thank you.